Hi everybody, my name is Jonas Grauer. I'm a film composer from Germany, and here's the piece that I want to show you today. I hope you enjoy it. So that's the piece. I hope you like it. Let's just look at the chords. It's B minor, D flat major 7, F minor, and G flat major. And at about here, it changes to B flat minor, D flat major 7, A flat major, and F minor 7. And that goes on here, and in bar 61 you have like this big G flat major chord. Then it fades back to the first chords. Yes, let's look at the piano. Let's look at the chords. I played them quite open. You can see here's the third is missing. The D flat is not in there, so it's just an open fifth. And then the D flat major 7, I played very open. You see, you could play it like this. Like this. But I didn't want that sound. I wanted to be more open, so I did that. So which I like a lot more. So it's more open. F minor is not very special, but here with G flat major, you can see the octave of the bass note is missing. I could like write another note here, which I didn't. So I like to keep the sound open, so that's basically what I did. The sound itself is actually a sample from Galaxy Vintage D. I really like it. I really like the piano sound. But I put it through several effects. As you can see here, I did a little equalizing on it. Yeah, like the regular put out. I cut a little at 400 Hertz, boosted at 3050, put a compressor on it, and yeah, that's the free ranger. It's just a little like boosting at about 16K. And then there are the effects. This is like the delay that you hear at the beginning. So, and I cut the highs and the lows, and I boosted a little in the middle. And I put a noise gate on it because it's quite noisy, as you can hear. Then there's the tremolo reverb chain, which is basically only the reverb sent through a tremolo, and then it's equalized. You can see I'm using the Valhalla room here. I really like it, and you see it's 100% wet, so there's no original sound, no dry sound coming through. It sounds like this. You can hear the sound go left and right. Yeah, the third plugin is just standard reverb. I've used the R-verb from Waves here, which sounds good, and that's how it sounds. So you can actually hear all three effect chains if you listen closely. So that's it for the piano. Okay, let's have a look at the brass. It sounds like this. Yeah, and it's basically made out of two sounds. This first sound is Spitfire Audio Albion 3 Iceni. It sounds fantastic. I really love it, especially because you have these long notes that work quietly and very loud, and you have these long nasty notes, which are the Hans Zimmer like brass epic. You can hear it here. That's how they sound. Then that you have this melody that you hear it better in the mix. I added a horn that plays just so the melody which is in the brass comes out better in the mix. In the real orchestra, you don't necessarily have to do that, because the first player of whatever, trumpet, trombone, etc., like plays a little louder, so that you can hear those melody lines inside the brass. Yeah, so I just use this to double so that it's coming through a little better. When it comes to these these ones here, I used another library, which is Cinebrass from Cinesamples, and this is the 6 horns ensemble articulations patch, which I really like. Plus, which I haven't talked about, this patch, which is the French horn from Sample Modeling, which I really love because it's so agile, and which I have to really outline. It's not compressed, so you have like the whole dynamic range on it, which you normally don't have. So if you play it, you have like these very, very soft sounds. It can be like and it can also be very loud. So you hear it. There's a lot of stuff going on, and this is what they really did brilliantly. So you can put like quiet notes in the brass as well, which is not possible with some other libraries because they're just compressed so much, and they're actually just for this big noisy trailer music. But actually, this is kind of the big noisy trailer music. So, and they still work here. So I doubled these two. So actually, these are 10 horns playing, which is quite big. Plus, I still doubled the Iceni brass section, so there's actually like too much horns in it, but it works. Yeah, you hear the 6 horns from Cinebrass, they just sound a little bigger. That's how they sound all together. Yeah, and then after the kind of, yeah, you can actually call it drop, you have like full blast Iseni brass, but not yet the nasty long notes, plus the doubled horn like shouts. So yeah, that's it for the brass. All right, let's talk about the drums. The drums, it's actually not that much. It's basically the Kraken drum sound, which is from Evolved Mutations. It's a Daiko drum from Storm Drum 2, and it's dolls played with stick and dolls played with a mallet. And some Godzilla hits, but only like 5 times. And these are some sticks and tickies, like to bring out these Kraken drums a little better. So let's listen to them. So that's just them like this. Evolved Mutations 2, percussive kits, Kraken drum, distant Kraken drums. And I boosted it around 100 Hertz a little so that they have more boom. Then here's the Daiko. And these are the dolls. So it's not that spectacular. It's just there to build up a little tension. And in these last 8 bars, I have these doll mallets doing just that. So it just builds up tension. So yeah, all together they sound like that. So yeah, that's it. That's it for the first part of the piece. And in the second part, they go like, like, yeah, full blast. And sticks and tikis from Cine Percussion Pro, they serve to bring out the hits a little better. It's just like this, but together with these drums, they cut through the mix a lot better. Like just so. And here. I hope you hear it. Yeah, the dolls, they're really on fire. I like that. Godzilla hits, they basically do just this boom, and I cut at about 124 Hertz so that they don't have this impact, because I wanted the impact to be in the Kraken drums. Yeah, so that's basically it. I sent them through a compressor. Here are all my drums. I used the DC8C2 from Klanghelm, which is, I think, is quite an awesome awesome tool. Yeah. So that's basically it. Okay, I used symbols from Stormdrum 2, like symbol rolls. Yeah, it's not that special, so don't really need to show you. All right, that's it. Okay, so let's look at the strings. First of all, I did something quite unusual with the strings here in the first part because I didn't want them to be so shiny and like John Williams in your face strings. I wanted them to have more like this dark and mellow touch. So I equalized them quite actually in the wrong way. I boosted at about 345 hertz and at about 340 400. This is where the mud really is, and at 6,800 hertz I cut down a little. So what it does is that compared to this, so they're a lot more dark and muddy. So second violins. So they're basically just doing single notes and staccato notes. Oh, sorry for not telling you. I'm using the cinematic strings library on like all of the string instruments except the Jelly Low. This is where I use the Albion 3 library again, which are these 24 Jelly recorded, which sounds kind of awesome. Okay, in the violas, what I do there is I'm playing chords in the middle low range. It sounds like that. And then I change it to tremolo to give it a little more tension. And then they join in with a with the violins to play the staccato notes. And actually that's why I have here still violins 1, is because I wanted the violins to play this melody. But I didn't like them in the violins, so I just put them in cellos and put them down 1 octave. So that's how they sound now. The basses come into which is just standard long note basses. Yeah. What I really like doing is doubling violins and cello. And now the violins go up 1 octave. So they're 1 octave above the cellos. That's how it sounds. And at the beginning I really didn't want them to be like they're right at the start, so I wanted them to come in a little like unnoticed. So So that's the strings basically, and now I kind of cheated again because I used like 2 cello sections. This cello section is huge, but okay. Actually, what they do is they kind of double the brass. And I had bigger chords in the cello, but I didn't like it so much. It was too muddy, so I took some notes away. Interesting thing here, I cut at 360 hertz, like in the math section. I cut a lot so that it doesn't take too much space. I wanted the brass to be more in that area. Okay, after the drop, strings to that. And the violas like just go crazy with tremolo. I didn't use the string bass because I was using a signed bass for the low end as well, and there's the drums at the low end, so it's quite big down there, so you don't need another basses. I have to say, if you were writing for real orchestra, you would absolutely need the basses there. But this is like writing for MIDI is like different, because you're partially mixing and partially orchestrating. So you're doing like both things, but both techniques are different. You can't just orchestrate on the computer like you would in, like, let's say, in real life. So I didn't use the bass there. Yeah, and at the end, I really wanted this dum 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 to come out, so the cellos play it as well. So doubled with crow tails and celesta, which is like, which gives it this kind of Christmas vibe, but I don't think it harms the piece. Yeah. All right, so like the main sound of this piece are clearly the synthesizers. So let's have a look at them. Here I really like this frozen guitar synthesizer, which is from Evolved Mutations 2. And it plays at the very beginning with the piano. So just to make the piano sound a little more interesting. Then there even is this kind of singing bell omnisphere sound. And I played around with the volume a little bit, as you can see here, so it doesn't get boring. This is the synth square sound that I created on my own. Sine wave and triangle wave, and do some filtering stuff, and then I put it through the tremolo reverb channel. If you mute that one, it sounds kind of boring. So you really need it that it's big. And then this is Supremacy, which is preset from Omnisphere, but I did some heavy EQing and I changed the like modulation rate from the LFO. Here comes back the frozen guitar again. And this special synthesizer here is from Ostinato 2, and it's kind of an 80s sound, and it sounds like that. And you might be thinking, what is that sound doing in a piece like that? And I was thinking the same, but it works. It really works, and it doesn't like. No, you're not thinking it's the whole piece is ruined now. But if you look at it again, I was talking about the violas. They were playing these chords. Okay, these notations are like never good. They never work. Just look at it like this. Yeah, so you remember changes here to tremolo, and then here we go to the staccato, and at that time the synthesizer comes in. So it's like taking over what the violas stopped doing, and they're doing something here that it's more interesting and more like the staccato feeling, but it has more this staccato feeling to it. And if you listen to it all together, all three synthesizers, it's quite nice actually. Yeah. So what follows is the sound that kind of defines the piece, which is this sound. It is from Zebra, and it sounds like that. This sound is stacked with this sound, which is kind of an organ sound, and the supremacy sound is added as well. And I added the sine bass from Omnisphere, which I created on my own. And this sine wave is just a normal sine wave because it's a sine wave, and it's like this so square fat wave. And I put it through through a distortion, through a parallel distortion channel, and I put it on pre-fader, so that I can decide if I want more distortion or more sub bass. Yeah, if you listen to that alone, it's like this sound, but it's like cut at the very low end, so that it's really separate. So it sounds like that, and this sound is not just the regular sound, because I set the decay time to 0.38 and the sustain time to 0.31, which gives it a kind of the sound is not like the sausage sound that you kind of know, like this if you wouldn't do anything, but it's more it starts and it goes down in volume quite quickly again. So that's what I actually wanted there. Yeah, that's with the distortion and altogether the sub, it sounds like that. Yeah, that's basically it for the synthesizers. Okay, there's one more thing. I use this another Zebra sound. At the end, and I use these wide chords again, so it doesn't get too muddy, because the sound is very fat actually. So yeah. Well, that was it. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think about it, and see you soon.